It's getting darker and darker, and there's just no way right now for these drivers to know exactly what's going to happen.
These guys are going to have to be really, really careful and tiptoe around the track until it's either not even 10 minutes into this race, and I feel like we've got enough strategy going on for a whole event, but still a long, long way to go.
There's Yellowstone, there's Yosemite, but for racing fans and for Grid Life's Elkhart Classic, the destination is Road America, the National Park of Speed.
Free wide in the front of the field here. Look at Emil tab up the inside for the race lead. We head down to the first corner.
These guys have no idea what they're coming into. Look at this field. They're 2 wide, 3 wide, a couple places slipping.
Side by side for the race lead. 54, 48 through 3 and 4. Working lap numbers.
You can see it's getting darker and darker, and there's just no way right now for these drivers to know exactly what's going to happen.
These guys are going to have to be really, really careful.
These guys have no idea what they're coming into. Look at this field. They're 2 wide, 3 wide, a couple places slipping.
Side by side for the race lead. 54, 48 through 3 and 4. Working lap number 60, 110 laps to go. Yusuf Ghali power move to the bottom of the racetrack, making the short way work. They're going to touch down the hill. This will be a great run for Fuller here.
Yes, if we will ran off the track in the final quarter, that'll absolutely get a massive.
Here he comes.
Does he have a look?
Oh, big block here by Sanfilippo. Into the grass goes Ben Fuller toward turn 1. And Sanfilippo hangs on. He's loose. No! And he crashes hard in the exit of turn number 2. Don't try here, boys. They're going to do it. Briscoe backs out. They touch. They're going to crash. Briscoe going to slam the attenuator hard into the wall. And Sarah Teston hits him as well. And big damage on these cars. That's huge.
Number 4, people are struggling for grip, going out of every single lane, trying to then run. It's getting really insane.
Powered by AWS for the Intercontinental GT Challenge, powered by Pirelli at the Indianapolis 8-hour. We are 7 hours and 18 minutes into this 8-hour event. John Miller way deep on the brakes to the inside of turn number 1 and 2. The spin, the 3 car gets turned around in front of the car. James Houghton looking for a place to go, but he's got Austin Cobb to the inside, into the gap behind. I think that's about 15 or 16 spot as they come out of turn 3. Big slide over this. Getting a run. He's got it. Going to be a drag racing line. Final corner. Checkered flag waving. Here they come. At Virginia National Raceway. To the line. Thompson, Darling, door to door, banging doors, fender to fender. I can't believe what we just saw.
After 9 rounds of a grueling season for the SCRS LazyRocket Super Trofeo Series, we find ourselves here at the Circuit de la Sarthe in Le Mans, France for the final round of this championship. And while the overall battle is probably not going to be as intense as we would hope it to be, the AM Cup is definitely something to be looking forward to, with 3 drivers in contention for the title in that category. My name is Finn DeCuna, here with Eric Mickey, who's been with me for quite a few races throughout the series. And Eric, glad to be with you to wrap it up here at Le Mans, the heart of endurance racing.
Yeah, after 11 long weeks, here we are at, as you said, the heart of endurance racing, Le Mans, one of the most prestigious and historic racetracks in the world. And we're here to settle the score and settle the championship for both the Lamborghini Super Trofeo Series and later on tonight, the Prototype Challenge Series. And we start here with the Lamborghinis for a 50-minute race, twice as long as they've been used to all season long, so it should be quite a show.
Yeah, indeed, it really should be quite a show here. We got to take a look quickly at the weather for tonight. 81 degrees in the air, 81 degrees down on the track. And speaking of which, you already got the drivers lining up, getting ready for the start of the race. I actually didn't realize that they moved the Is it weird that they moved the pace fields back? Or are they always good at here? It's been a while since they've done a race here.
I couldn't tell you. I'm not actually sure. I feel like it was closer to the start finish from where they are now, but we should go over real quick that usually we come on during qualifying, but this being a special format, there was no qualifying for this round, and therefore no qualifying points to hand out. Everyone comes into this race knowing exactly what the point situation is, knowing that their result tonight will define their championship season. And the top 10 cars from the standings have been inverted for the top 10 starting positions here tonight. And after that, from 11th place on to the back of the field has all been set according to the overall driver standings for the season. And that's how we get our grid here for tonight for both series. Prototype's a little bit different. We'll get to that later on. But that's how our Lamborghini field has been set. And importantly, you have two of our championship contenders starting on the front row with Ryan Plord and Brian Tabelski going for that AM Cup championship.
Yeah, indeed, that's definitely going to be something we're going to be taking a look at the night all along. Only less than 10 points surrounding the top three in the AM Cup as we look forward to that. Here's the other field lining on through. In fact, we'll take a quick look at the standings for that category here. Before we go, I also want to thank Anthony Montello for making these nice graphics. Taking a look, there's the AM Cup standings. James D. Miller, Brian Chabelski, and Ryan Plord, your top three. Again, you can see the separation there, especially 1 point between Miller and Chabelski. Essentially, it's going to be an all-out battle of who's going to finish ahead of the other. And how fitting to have them up at the top of the grid here. And they're going to be duking it out. They're probably going to forget that we have pro guys in behind. I don't think they're going to care. They're going to race them tooth and nail for every point that they can get.
Yeah, importantly, I'm just now noticing I don't seem to see James Miller on the grid here, so he's missed the final round, and that's going to destroy his AM Cup championship. So this is going to be between Zabelski and Plord, with Kyle Lamb having an outside shot from a little bit further back in the field.
Pace car taking the turn off on the pit road as the drivers approach the start-finish straight. You can hear the horns blasting, and we are green here at Le Mans.
Very important set of corners up here. Make sure you don't get any of those slowdowns. That's going to be something we have to keep an eye out on.
And field blasting down to the Dunlop chicane for the first time. Oh, some contact, hard contact. A green car going off to the right. I think it was Derek Vogel that got a piece of that as the field working under the Dunlop bridge.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That was one of the AOD cars getting into an AOD red car getting into an AOD green car, both pro drivers, so I'll have to take a second look to see who that was, but that was a very ill-advised move up the inside. Wasn't able to make it work cleanly.
I think it might have been Mo Islam that was the car involved here as the drivers fly into the Mulsanne straight for the first time. You can see him peeling off to the side of the track. And yeah, it looks like that car is starting to hurt a little bit. You can see some damage to the left front of that machine. Sorry, he's already losing some straight line speed. That's the last thing you need.
Zabelski's already fallen back to 8th place on the first lap. Kyle Lamb, championship rival, getting by him just now.
And Zach Buchanan up at top, a three-way fight already up at the top of the field. Buchanan, Carter Kundinger, Ryan Plord, your top three as they work through the first chicane. And then onto the straightaway yet again. And this is going to be the big thing for the leaders. We're talking about Spot being a little bit of a draft track down some of the longest straightaways here. It's absolutely a draft track. It's going to be annoying for some of these leaders because no matter what they do, I don't think they'll be able to shake off the guys in behind, especially Carter Kundinger here. He's been on a tear the last few weeks trying to look to make a move on Buchanan, but he's actually sitting in pretty patiently in behind, though. Farrell making a dive to the inside of Plord.
Yeah, you'll see it's the best opportunity to try to get away from the rest of the field is going to be the last sector of the track where you're going through the Porsche curves and the Ford chicanes. Those are where you can really separate yourself from the rest of the field on the second half of this lap. But the rest of it is just going to be this tail of drafting all the way down.
Now field working down to Mulsanne corner. Buchanan still leading the back, actually starting to work out a little bit of a two-car breakaway between Buchanan and Carter Kundinger, the drivers in behind. Boaz again with that damaged car trying to nurse it back here. Maybe use a slipstream from his teammate, Derek Roble, up in front.
Yeah, I was just taking a look back at that first lap incident. It was Owen Farrell who got way into the Dunlap chicane way too hard, causing the contact with an AOD Racing teammate there, and kind of causing some problems there, which is not great to see, but coming from such a long way back. But everything seems to be moving along all right.
Yeah, side by side for the leaders through Indianapolis as they head down to the next corner, and it's going to be Carter Cundinger that will get the lead away from Buchanan. Buchanan trying to get back on him already. We got some duking it out for the lead, and it's only lap 1.
Yeah, we should mention this is going to be the first time all season these drivers are going to have to make a pit stop throughout the race. It'll probably come about halfway with the way that the amount of fuel on board that these cars have. We'll see it about halfway, and that's going to be an opportunity for some of those cars with some first lap contact to take that fast repair that they're allowed in this series and get a clean car for the second half of the race.
These drivers side by side through the first repair is going to have to back off as they scream past the camera here, and it's going to be Carter Cundinger still taking defensive line though, but Buchanan trying to work his way on through to get back at him for the lead. This is going to be an excellent fight to watch all race.
Yeah, hopefully we get this, we keep this lead back together, and we just see this constant battle between these top tier drivers in the Super Trofeo series, battling it amongst themselves. As you can see, the pro drivers have already moved themselves up to the top of the field after just one lap around Le Mans after the invert from the driver standings, and here they are coming around to complete lap 1 with Carter Cundinger in the lead.
And also can't forget to mention about DJ Alessandrini. He started back in 8th after the invert. That was the lowest driver to be placed. Only 8 drivers showing up for the points invert. And Alessandrini looking to claw back those positions. Well, I think both of us were probably expecting this shouldn't be too hard of a climb, though that being said, he may be able to get up in front. To break away, I think is going to be very hard to do, especially considering the guys he's got a face up in front.
Yeah, it's going to be real difficult to get up there through these top drivers, with DJ Alessandrini sitting in 4th place right now after starting worst of the inverted cars with his dominant points lead, and pretty much locked up that championship, but he's got to keep the car together. If he falls out of this race and finishes worse than 15th, that opens the door for Carter Cundinger, so he's just got to keep it together and get to the end of the race.
Riding on board with Farrell in the 266 machine, taking a look at that slipstream. Looks like he's trying to get one on it, but he's also got to do with Buchanan getting a slipstream on Carter Cundinger. Buchanan going to peel off to the right-hand side of the track, going to make the move into the chicane. And now I have a feeling we're going to see Carter Cundinger return the favor. And you know, being a driver in this battle, is it worth the constant slingshot, or do you think it's better to just kind of sit in line, wait your turn?
I'm of two minds of that. If you wait in line, sit and just kind of ride it out. Now, there is some fuel saving that might come into play. We expect one pit stop. The amount of fuel they use around this track could be a little bit more than expected, and could result in making a second pit stop at some point. Unless they're on it and making sure that they are saving fuel. So that could be a reason why you would want to stay behind and draft somebody ahead and let them be the kind of air breaker out front. But I think when you do try to stick behind somebody,
we got a big wreck in the second chicane. That is Cody Meadows around in front of Sarah Tessa. We'll see if we can take a look at what happened in that. There's already some bobbing and weaving in behind. As side by side into the chicane they go. Looks Sarah Tessa went wide and 3 wide. She was just a victim in that.
Yeah, she just kind of had nowhere to go after it looked like Cody Meadows and another car just kind of came together on switching back to 70 of Harry Grindell. I'm not really sure, without a better angle of that, who turned in on who. Looks like they just kind of came together looking for the same space on track.
Yeah, I think he probably also heard 3 wide and tried to cut it back as tight as he could through there, because not advertised to go 3 wide through the chicanes here.
No, that's really not a winning situation for anyone in that situation.
And Cody Meadows back in 15. Sarah Tessum also right in behind in 16. Unfortunately, has to spend the rest of the race trying to make up some lost ground. Taking a look back at our leaders, it's Farrell in second place. Gone past his teammate Carter Cundinger. It looks like he's wasting no time trying to get up to the lead, already hounding the back of Buchanan.
Yeah, so just an update on your AM Cup Championship. Just a minute ago, I was looking, and Ryan Plord was sitting in 5th and Zabelski in 10th, and that would have given Plord the championship. But right now, Plord has fallen back down to 9th. Not really sure how or why. but he is sitting in 9th place, just one position ahead of Zabelski, and that I don't think will be enough to get toward the title over Zabelski, so he's got to make up some ground and hope Zabelski can't.
Yeah, and again, taking a look at those AM Cup standings, you see James Miller, I mentioned, didn't show up for the. Oops, sorry. James Miller didn't show up for the race today, so it's Chabelski and Plord left to duke it out, and that is a 7-point deficit that Plord has to overcome. And he needs to finish by, especially being further back in the field, you really need to gain quite a few positions. So Chabelski sitting in the catbird seat at the moment, just has to kind of ride around, make sure he doesn't lose any more positions. Though he's got Waldblum and Grindel in behind, and they look pretty fast. Ooh, yeah, Chabelski not fast at all through the 4 chicanes. Waldblum over him. Actually surprised to see Waldblum all the way back here. Started in 7. Oh, this is probably due to the points. That's probably why he started back here and showed up relatively late in the season. And whoa, gonna make a move to the inside. He's wasting no time to get himself to the front. The Evergreen machine get himself through. Eric Grindel now also trying to make a move, but can't quite get it done. Eric Brown now going to be trying to be side by side with him.
And this is making that championship go a little bit more in the favor of Plord here.
Yeah, Plord's going to be rooting for every single one of these cars in behind Chabelski if Chabelski is indeed struggling. So to see if he can pick up the pace. And really, again, all he has to do is just maintain that position. It's not necessarily the gaps, just to worry about the positions. For Plord, trying to take a look at him, he doesn't quite have too many cars to pass up ahead as he got another exchange for position. Carter Cunningham, you're now going back to the top. So now it's essentially looking like we got a 4-car breakaway. And you can see there in the background, there's Roval Morelli. He is going to have a little bit of luck from the brakes to the inside of Kyle Lamb. And maybe should we start talking about Kyle Lamb? We were talking about him coming into tonight. He was at, I'll bring this up one more time because he is in 4th place in the standings, but a little bit further back. And actually, as they say, that he's making a pass on Morelli up into 6th. Do you think maybe he's potentially lining himself up for a shot?
Looking at where he's running right now, Kyle Lamb is running in 6th place. That'll net him 52 points, as opposed to where Ryan Plord is running in 9th is 40, and that's 12 points. Plord needed 19 to get to the top of the field there. So it's going to be close. He's definitely helping himself out by running it up front as much as he is, and if something happens to the others to bring him back down the field, then he's sitting in a good position. Still a long ways to go. We're only on lap 3 of 13 in this race, and it's going to be a long way to go for things to kind of settle in and find out where these drivers are going to end up finishing.
Yeah, I'd be really amazed to see if Lamb, you can see him using that second group of drivers in behind the leaders, so if he can work his way past, potentially charge up to here. It'll be an impressive feat if he can, but he is a quick driver. He's no slouch, so we'll see if he can get it done. They're now working their way through Indianapolis here, and these guys all still bumper to bumper. And I think the biggest thing for these leaders, it's really just a matter of not making a mistake at this point.
Yeah, right now, as much as you may want to go and take that opportunity to make a pass if you got it, you don't want to take any chances and risk going off track or getting a slowdown. That'll take you out of this battle for the top. As we see, Farrell is starting to look like there's a gap opening up between him and the top 3. And that could be problematic if he's not able to close that down very quickly.
Carter Cunningham, you're looking a lot stronger in the Porsche curves than Zach Buchanan. He's just not been able to nail the apexes as much as Carter, and Carter is actually riding the curves. And Buchanan, though, a little bit, you can see the understeer from Buchanan as well. He's just been not able to negotiate them as well, and he actually is going to have a bit of a run here to the Forge gates. Here we go. Ooh, has to back out of it.
Not really a great passing opportunity here, so he didn't really have anywhere to go with that run.
Carter gonna have to try again. If not, actually, Carter might have to start looking in his mirrors now. Alice Adrini's looking a little bit more racy here. Coming up now, 3 laps completed, still 10 laps to go. So time is not really of the essence for these drivers at the moment. But we're looking at when these guys are going to strike. I also wanted to take a look here quickly at the overall standings. We're talking about GJ Alcedrini coming in pretty comfy over Carter Kundinger. Again, with double points at stake, but still, I mean, considering the fact that his competition's running one position ahead of him, I don't think it's going to change a lot.
Yeah, no, this championship was kind of settled before they arrived here in Le Mans this week, but Carter's been giving him a run for his money as much as he can every week and every opportunity he gets. Oh, and we have a car blowing up behind
Farrell!
him. Farrell just blew up. How did that happen?
Interesting stuff. I'm trying to... So I'll have to run on board and see what happens here. Interesting.
I don't have an answer for that.
Yeah, he clutched it. By the sounds of it, he clutched it and then downshifted and then released the clutch and blew the engine. That was interesting. Huh.
Wonder if he saw himself losing ground to the leaders and decided he didn't want to stick around.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what happened there.
And meanwhile, look at this lead Buchanan's been able to open up.
Yeah, this is probably the biggest lead we've seen so far. It's still under a second though, but yeah, we've been seeing these guys ride bumper to bumper these first 3 opening laps of the race. And now it's starting to build at least something of a gap here to Carter Kundinger. And I mean, if you can't break away, that'll be huge. Especially if Carter's not able to keep up. So let's see if he's going to be able to keep up, reel him back in, or what's the deal with this. But yeah, big. And even DJ's has a little bit of a gap back to Carter Kundinger. And also, of note, Kyle Lamb up into 4th place. So this man's on the move. Let's take a look back at where Ryan Plort is. He's just ahead of Harry Grindel. And then you have Brian Shabelski and Eric Brown. What happened to... Oh, Waldblum, sorry. Just wondering what happened with Matt Waldblum. He actually got ahead of Ryan Plort. And actually, speaking of Ryan Plort, still trying to defend for Harry Grindel and behind for 9th place.
Yeah, with Lamb sitting in 4th place right now, this is close. I don't want to take the time away from the mic to really start crunching the numbers, but he's in position that he might be able to win this championship from that position if he's able to hold on to a 4th place finish, and Plord and Zabelski aren't able to get any better throughout the rest of the race.
Side by side between Plord and Grindel. This is again Plord trying to keep his hopes alive as Grindel works past, and now Shabelski has a chance of getting past Plord on the track. And again, Shabelski has the advantage in the points, but this would be big because now Shabelski might have to start looking at Kyle Lamb, who's all the way up in 4th place, having a fantastic race so far.
Yeah, they definitely need to start worrying about Kyle. Kyle's sitting in a position that'll net him 60 points, and right now these guys are battling for 10th place, which will net them 38 points. So that's 22 points separating them, and Kyle Lamb was only 19 behind Zabelski coming into the race. So that leads things in Kyle Lamb's favor right now. This could be huge.
Taking a look at our leaders, looks like DJ Alessandrini slowly losing touch with them. In fact, he's effectively out of the draft. He's a 2.5 behind. That's just out of the draft range. He might be getting a little something, but nowhere near significant to keep you in. Unless DJ's got to start charging, otherwise he's going to really be out of the fight for the lead. As these two continue on their fight for the win. And if nothing else, I think these guys are just really more worried about the win up in front than the standings. I think they know it's kind of been decided, especially for Buchanan. I think he really needs some good luck coming his way. We've seen a few mistakes here and there take him out of the fight so many times between himself and DJ. He's been the man that he's been chasing all season long. So Buchanan trying to see if he can hold off here. He's got Carter Gunning and still Alessandrini to worry about. And even I don't think Alan might not have the shot of winning this race. But if something happens up in front, he's only in 4th. So who knows what could happen.
Yeah, this is really interesting the way things have played out for this AM Cup Championship.
Leaders side by side into the chicane. It's going to be Carter Kundinger breaking away from Buchanan. Oh, and whoa! Carter getting really close to the wall there on exit. And Buchanan going to get an easy run out.
That's using up all the racetrack you got right there.
Yeah, I mean, if they pay the whole thing, you might as well use it, although you do run the
Three
risk.
wide, Zabelski, Brown, and Grindel, and Zabelski lets both of them go.
See, are any of them too deep? Yeah, I thought it was much. He looked a little bit too fast, and he's gonna park the bus on the apex and hold up Brown and Zabelski. Let's see if we can take a look at
Huge
this.
slowdown for Grindel there.
These are these drivers fanning out 3 wide down the Mulsanne straight. That's not something you want to have entering the corner. You see Chabelski immediately backed out of that situation and then entering the corner. There you can see running a little bit wide, parks into the apex. No trouble between these two drivers, and they're still side by side up in front. Brown in the white and red car, or sorry, Brown in the red, primarily red car. Grindel in the white and red. So Chabelski looks like he's not been making really any forward progress at all. I thought he might have had it look like his car was getting a little bit better at one point, but now he's just kind of slowly dripping back. In fact, Andrew Mickey in behind looks like he might be the next. Chabelski might fall prey next to Andrew Mickey in 13th. So not looking Chabelski away for Plord. He's just kind of hanging out in 9th, but you can see there's the 2 cars he's trying to chase up ahead. He's got no draft at all. He's got 3 guys in behind who are looking fairly hungry.
So here's Plord coming through, and he's pretty much by himself, separated himself from Zabelski again as Zabelski continues to fall backward. But right now, Kyle Lamb's still in this position to take home the championship if Plord doesn't gain some spots.
I just find it funny how we were talking about him before the race. We're like, hey, he doesn't really have too much of a shot. He's going to have to hope on a lot of things going bad for other guys. And, I mean, I guess it didn't really take it going too bad. It's just a matter that he's running really well in comparison to his other 2 competitors, which are having fairly mediocre days by comparison.
Yeah, and I mean, at this point, if you're talking about the battle between Lamb and Plord, Lamb was only 14 or 13 points behind Plord coming into tonight, so he only needed to gain that. Right now, he's sitting in 4th place for 60 points, and Ryan Plord is 20 points behind him in 9th place right now. So this is all looking good for, surprisingly, to be honest, Kyle Lamb.
He's still got to hang on, though. He's still got over half the race left, and then a lot of things can still happen. So he does have to be careful and put a decent race on, but I think he's done a decent amount of the heavy lifting. I think it's just a matter of now just getting to the end of this race in one piece.
I think DJ Alessandrini's unfamiliarity with Le Mans racetrack is kind of biting him tonight, as he's not really able to stick with the top 2 drivers of Buchanan and Kundinger.
Yeah, this is an interesting thing because, you know, again, DJ doesn't have too many off weeks, but, and even when he does, I mean, he's still running in the top 3, but in his normal dominating form, especially, again, as he's got the championship effectively wrapped up, just doesn't have the pace of the, let's see, last lap through, he was only a 10th off the leaders, which is pretty impressive. All these guys ran within 2/10 of each other last lap, considering it's a 4-minute lap time. So there are still running very consistent laps. That being said, though, he's going to have to just be just a teeny bit faster to catch up. Although I think at the rate that these guys are kind of battling with each other a little bit, he might be able to slowly reel them back in. As you see, ooh, there goes Carter Kundinger, and Buchanan's going to do an over-under on him. Ooh, he's going to back out, though, before they get to the chicane.
So what Alessandrini needs is these 2 to continue swapping positions like that going into these corners, and that'll keep him within earshot of being able to make a difference here. You got to wonder also if maybe Alessandrini's noticed how close it may be on fuel and has decided to take it a little bit easy, make sure he can make it on only one, and hope that the other 2 use up a little bit more and either have to make a second or force them to have to slow down second half of the race.
These guys are duking out yet again down towards the second chicane. But yeah, I do think, though, he's hanging just a little bit too far back to the point where he's not even really in the draft and has to still kind of push it. So he's going to have to try to close up a little bit more to really get that that benefit from fuel saving here. But these guys continuing to completely duke it out as if no one else is in behind them.
And when you have drivers of this caliber and of this who are this familiar with each other, this is just fun to be able to swap back and forth. You know that no one's going to do anything stupid. At least until the last lap, and you can kind of just continuously swap the lead and put on a show.
I would say confidently between these three guys. I'm sure there's little to any worry about them. I think all three of them know each other. They've been racing around each other all season long. I can't think of a single incident really between these guys. Maybe some light bumping here and there, but I don't think there's ever been a wreck amongst these three drivers with each other. So, and that's the great thing. It's an awesome thing to have with drivers when you have the confidence to race wheel to wheel. You get some great battles like we've been seeing so far this race between these two, and I think it's only going to kick up a gear as the time winds down and when it really gets down to crunch time. This is these guys having fun at the moment. Then they're going to get serious, and I think we're going to be in for a real treat, similar to what we saw last week at Spa.
Yeah, I think we're setting up for a great battle for the rest of this race between the three of them, as we see Alessandrini starting to pull in again after they went side by side for as long as they did.
Here is looking at Chabelski versus Eric Brown. Chabelski's actually able to get himself on up into 11th place. Oh, he's going to have a little bit of a bobble in Indianapolis. Go into the sand trap. Oh, he's going to hit hard to the wall. Damage to the number 12 machine. And it goes from, I wouldn't even say bad. It goes from mediocre to being bad for the 12 car of Brian Chabelski.
Yeah, this is basically going to end his championship hopes, I think.
Yeah, a little bit of a bobble, tries to go out wide to save, and then it is a lazy meandering spin with zero grip to the car. And again, we were talking about that damage.
Buchanan in.
Oh, Buchanan.
Alessandrini in.
Interesting. It's a little bit of a split decision here. This will be interesting to see, considering how long the lap time is at Le Mans. Carter Carter has got a decent ways to go to get back. And the reason I'm saying that is if he can potentially break away from these guys. I don't think so, considering the lap times, but you never know. I'm curious to see if he can maybe build a bit of a gap. Or the other way, if he loses a gap.
Now here's my question. Is this them deciding to pit early, knowing they can make it to the end? Or is this them having pushed it too hard and having to pit? We're at about halfway, but it could go either way, depending on how close the fuel really is.
Yeah, I'm interested to see, because Carter Koenig, I would say I would say Buchanan has probably been out a little bit more. I think Carter Koenig, he's also been out there. He's been trying to slingshot past Buchanan all the time. I don't think he's had a lot of time to really just get off the throttle and coast down towards the end of some of these straightaways. So he's been pushing pretty a decent amount. So I'm assuming he can make it to the end here. We are essentially going to be halfway by the end of this lap, a little bit over halfway. So if he can make it to the end of this lap, which I would imagine he has confidence in, I don't see him, having a problem. The other guy's having a problem for the rest of the race. It may still be pretty close. I might have to say just a little bit, but we'll never know. We'll have to see what Carter Cundinger is going to do out in front. But for Buchanan, he's back out in front. DJ able to close a little bit of the gap. He's now right up in behind Buchanan.
Buchanan with a little bit of a bobble there. Low, he's gotten a slowdown.
Yeah. Oh, that's really going to kill. And we're talking about for Buchanan, it's been the little things, little mistakes here and there. I want to see where he got this. I imagine in the chicane. I didn't see him go off track anywhere else.
I don't know. You might have to keep with it to see where this might have come, because it's pretty drastic slowdown for him. He shouldn't have had to if he had just picked up the slowdown.
Oh, then he... Huh. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't understand what... It didn't look like he picked up a course cut.
Yeah,
but I will mention Zabelski has pit, got his fast repair. Andrew Mickey had also come in with damage right behind Zabelski, took his fast repair, and they've both resumed the race ahead of Nicholas Morelli right now.
And so waiting. So 4 drivers have stayed out on the track. Everyone else has come in. So that is Carter Cundinger here working the second half of the lap. Then we got Derek Roveld sitting in second at the moment. Mo Islam with his damaged car sitting in third. He's been running a pretty decent race. I thought the damage would have been a lot worse for him, but he's still been able to hang in there pretty well. And then Matt Walblum in fourth in the number 90 car.
Yeah, just thinking about it, Buchanan has had quite a bit of hardware problems, so I wonder if he felt something going wrong and had to get out of harm's way or get out of Alessandrini's way to potentially fix something real quick before resuming.
Yeah, I forgot what... I'm pretty sure Buchanan has Fanatic pedal, so I don't know, maybe... Because I know with Logitech, you have that thing where you have to slam on the brakes sometimes to calibrate it, but that's usually at the beginning, so I don't know, maybe he had some issue where, yeah, like you said, he had to slam on the brakes. I'll have to ask him after the fact. We'll see if he can... I think he should be able to chase down DJ here. He's got a 2.6 second gap. I would say he's definitely the faster between the two. So if he He can chase him back down, get back in that slipstream. It is going to hurt him, though, so it's going to be a wall he has to climb over, and he's only got pretty much 6.5 laps to do it.
Yeah, just be a matter of how much of the pace advantage he had over Alessandrini before pit stops was down to drafting versus straight up pace. But we'll keep an eye on that gap and see how that works out. And I'm sure Carter Cunninger's got to be coming to pit road pretty soon here.
Yeah, I imagine everyone's going to come down this time by.
There he goes.
And he's indeed going to come down. About 51 seconds that his fellow competitors spent down in pit lane. Expect something similar for him. Derek Volvo, just keep an eye on these guys, because I'll be amazed. Whoa, hello, that's definitely going to get you. We were talking about track limits as well before. I'll be surprised if you didn't get one there, slowdown from going up too wide. If not, I don't think it's going to be too big of an issue, because then he has to come into the pits.
That's the one good thing, that when you pick it up there, you know when you're coming to pit road, you know you're going to be able to give it all back.
And here come the guys on down. So now I set to DJ Alessandrini and Zach Buchanan here, working up to the Ford chicanes right now. Carter Cundinger still getting service to his cars halfway through his stop. And we'll see, is DJ able to potentially get the lead of this race. It'll be the first lap he's led, if he can get past Carter Cundinger. It's been the highest of third of this event so far.
Carter cross pit exit.
And here he comes back. Will it be enough? Heading down to the Dunlop chicane. There's DJ in behind. Will not be able to get past the lead, but he definitely made up time and is within the draft. I think that's the key thing for DJ.
Yeah, he's now put himself in position, and Buchanan's lost the draft. He's going to have
I'm not sure if we saw him make a mistake somewhere, but definitely lost more time. He's about 2.5 seconds. Is now 5 seconds back from DJ, so he's starting to struggle. And it looks like he might have to settle for 30 here for tonight. If not, have to hope the leaders get into some trouble with each other.
Zabelski back down pit road. Not really sure why.
I think, yeah. That's an interesting call there. I think we might have seen him come in, I think, lap early to fix that damage. He might have come in again to actually get enough fuel to make it to the end of the race. So, but either way, he's definitely out of the picture at this point. Ryan Plord checking back in on him. He's up into 8th place. And he's got 3 cars that he can pass for position up ahead.
And he's going to need to, because Kyle Lamb's still sitting pretty for that championship.
Well, take a look at that once again. Again, looking at Kyle Lamb in the favorite position at the moment. 124 points coming in to Ryan Plord, 137 points coming into this event. And so how many points is Kyle Lamb to the good at the moment?
Right now, he has, if they finish as they are, he'll have picked up 16 points over Ryan Plord, and he only needed to pick up 14 to take the championship. So another position into 7th for Ryan Plord will get him, I think, back in the championship spot.
Have to see. He's only going to pass one car, and as these guys are battling up ahead, it's only going to make it easier. So this is the incredible thing, too, with the way these points are going out. He only has to pass one more car, has the chance of passing 3. So, and from Mo Islam, the gap to Mo Islam and Kyle Lamb, 13.7 seconds.
Lamb's done all he can. He doesn't have much of a chance to run down Buchanan or the other top 3. He's got plenty of space behind him, so he's done all he can. This 4th place is probably going to be the best he's going to be able to do unless something goes wrong ahead of him. So he's looking at picking up 60 points for this race either way, and he needs 13 more or 14 points to get 1 point lead on Plord here with Zabelski out of the picture. So that is right now he's 16 points gained on Plord where they're running. And if Plord gains 1 more spot, that'll bring it down to 14 points gained. So Plord looks like he needs at least 1, maybe 2 more spots to hold on to the championship.
Moism run a little bit hot. I had a feeling you ran a little bit too hot in Indianapolis. Oh, no, did we just see Plord spin out? He spun out in behind. That is not what he needed.
This is going to make it harder to run down this trio in a draft. He needs at least one spot, maybe two.
Had a little bit of trouble there. Oh, got on the curb and was slowing down, just upset the balance of the car. That's going to be a costly mistake. There's a championship on the line. Had it sitting in front of him. Had to get past at least one more car. And now he still has to do that. Didn't lose position, but now that car's 5 seconds up the road with these guys coming to 5 laps to go. Or sorry, yeah, 5 laps to go this time by. I'm not sure if Kyle Lamb knows what's going on. I'm not sure if he's watching the relatives, seeing that unfold behind him, or just getting his head down, just trying to make sure he doesn't make a mistake up in front. But yeah, as you mentioned, he's done the best he can do. He's got the next car ahead of Kyle Lamb. It's his teammate, Zach Buchanan, 10 seconds up the road, so not too much more he can gain from this race unless one of the top 3 make an error. But at this point, they'll be surprised to see, for the most part, they've been pretty clean and green up in the front. No spins for them. Ooh, you see someone, Cody Meadows, back down on pit lane. Not sure what's bringing him back on now, but he will drop a few spots.
And unfortunately for Plord, he was already behind. Although it's showing Plord in 7th, so was he actually ahead?
I think he might have been ahead, I guess.
Yeah, he looks like he was one of the trio of cars that Plord spun out behind. And
oh yes, he was. Yeah.
Plord in 7th place. So let me.
You're busy on the calculator tonight. So, Plord by happenstance through someone else. This is amazing how this battle can just change on a dime between other drivers' misfortune and their own misfortune. But Plord eventually looking to be back in the fight. Barely, but back in the fight. Take a look back at our leaders. Carter Kundinger up in front. DJ Happily sitting in 2nd place. I don't think DJ's come across the line in the lead so far. Not really much reason for him to. No, has not led a single lap. Carter Kundinger, on the other hand, has led forward tonight. And I think the other few laps that we ran were led by Zach Buchanan. In fact, equal amounts between Buchanan and Carter Kundinger.
I got it. As of right now, as they run, Ryan Plord is your championship winner by 1 point over Kyle Lamb.
Oh boy.
Without Lamb really having an opportunity to gain anything, and as long as he doesn't make a mistake that loses him any positions, he'll probably be solid in that 4th place. It's Plord, who's already had a couple mistakes in the race already, that he's going to have to make sure that he maintains that 7th place, if not betters it, because if he falls one position back, he's lost the championship.
Here's the problem: he's got a pro driver, and a fairly quick pro driver in behind him at that. So this is gonna be it's gonna be a tough battle. He's only 4 seconds back from Ryan Plord. Taking a look at their best lap times, actually surprisingly, their best lap times. Plord has a faster lap time of a 4:02.3. It's Matt Waldblum, the 4:02.5. That was their best lap times. So. Interesting comparison there. I would have thought that Waldblum would have been a little bit faster, again being the pro category. And Waldblum has shown some speed on a few occasions, so it's surprising to not see him, at least according to those lap times. And again, there could have been an off track from one of these two guys to maybe invalidate it, so I have to see. But the gap is coming down. It's now under 4 seconds, so he is closing. And even if he doesn't actually if Waldblum doesn't even actually get up to Plord and pass him, for Plord, he's got to just keep up the pressure of knowing there's a faster driver, potentially faster driver, catching him from behind, and not make a mistake. And that pressure, again, with a championship on the line, I can only imagine how it is. I'm actually curious if Plord even knows what's going on, because it's required a lot of math, and unless you have someone telling you the numbers, it's kind of hard to picture it out.
My guess is, especially with the change in the points payout for this week, that they probably don't know. They just have a rough idea that it might be close by now, where they're at, and they just need to keep pushing away.
I think in a lot of cases, I think it's kind of better to just not know exactly. Just know you need to do decently well and just kind of push the car, but not completely push your car off the track. As Ryan Plord works through the Porsche curves towards the Ford chicanes. Waldblum, 3.6 seconds. Since we started looking at this battle about half a lap ago, it's dropped almost a second. It's gonna be close. It's gonna be really close.
Yeah, very close. And just like this battle for the lead with Alessandrini now all over the back of Kundinger. And Kundinger winning this race is not going to do anything for the championship, but you'd think that for bragging rights, you'd want to at least get a win over heads up over Alessandrini to go out showing that you might have won the championship because of how dominant you are, but I still beat you.
Yeah, I think that's at least the one last thing. Doesn't want to let DJ win in the final race, the final chance he has of competing him in these cars. Work on through, and I think DJ's been happy to just kind of sit in behind. But is this a little bit worrying, the fact that DJ hasn't really made an attempt to pass for the lead yet? Do you think he should be trying to start poking prodding, or do you think it's better just kind of wait and just kind of throw it in there in the last lap?
No, I think he knows exactly what he's doing, and just kind of picking his points to look and see what might be possible for him to pull off later on. I think when you get to that last lap, they're probably going to hold nothing back, but until then, there's really no reason to take any risks.
Take a look back. So these guys relatively close for positions. Cody Meadows, Harry Grindell, and Andrew Mickey, 11th, 12th, and 13th. One of the closer battles on the track besides for the lead. Guys flying down the Mulsanne straight. Ooh, and a little bit of a block heading into the first chicane from Cody Meadows. A late decision to try to go defensive. Oh, and both these drivers going to slide through the first chicane. And you see Grindell still sliding, trying to get back on the power, and that was fairly close quarters.
And you just see Andrew behind him saying, gimme, 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 gimme.
Yeah, I think Meadows, yeah, there he made a move to go to the inside. Grindell trying to force it to work the run through, and both these guys sliding. Amazing that their cars didn't come around, because again, when these cars, when you have them slide in the middle of a corner, it's a bit terrifying being mid-engine.
Yeah, now they've got a three-car battle. Andrew Mickey has joined them in the next chicane. See how this goes.
Andrew Mickey started in 10th, up in, or sorry, back down into 13th, so still trying to claw his way back to where he started. That's a good shot, as you mentioned. He's got just these two guys up ahead for 11th place. You see Cody Meadows, Grindell side by side into the Mulsanne corner. Even on the brakes for both of them, not going to overstep it this time, and it's going to be Grindell that bows down. Going to have to peel him behind, and Andrew Mickey now waiting in the wings.
I just know Andrew's personality. He's just like, yeah, keep doing it, guys. Keep doing it. I'll take it 3 wide. Give me the option. Give me a lane.
There's a flash of the headlights from Andrew Mickey, just letting him know that they're
and
there.
Put it driving between both of them, make sure they both see it.
Into Indianapolis they go. Not 3 wide, but close to it.
Grindell goes wide. That's going to take him out of this battle for now.
Yeah, that's the thing, the opportunity that Andrew Mickey was waiting for. Oh! He's... Almost threw it away there.
At one point, Kyle Lamb had you said about a 13-second lead over Mo Islam not that long ago, and now it seems to be under 10 seconds. So Islam's actually closing big time on Kyle Lamb. There's only a couple laps to go, 3 laps to go. So I'm not sure if that's going to be enough for Islam to really get up there and make a pass.
Yeah,
but,
actually, it's not even. I was going to say that it was Lamb running a fairly slow lap time, but let's actually take a look at the lap times here. For Lamb, 4:03.3, which is kind of slower in comparison. All the other guys, especially the leaders, are running low 401s, and Zach Buchanan in the 402s. But Mo Islam, he's actually just ran the fastest lap of the race out of anyone, a 4:06. Fastest lap of the race to the 206, so he's just putting in really solid time. I think he's also Kyle Lamb is backing out a little bit again, just making sure he doesn't overstep his bounds because this battle. Oh, I don't want to take a look at that, but as you look at here, this is for the championship, not the way you would think. Waldbaum has no stakes in the AMP Cup championship, but Florid has this battle losing here if he can't keep the 90 in behind. As Kyle Lamb looking to try to take it away, he's going to be a big fan of the 90 looking back at this broadcast.
Could be big for the stand for right now. Right now, Florida's still only a point to the good. He needs the 7th position.
Oh, and Floyd's starting to slide a little bit. I think he knows that he needs to keep, at least, the very least, he knows he needs to keep every single spot he can. But he's got to deal with Waldbaum in behind. I want to take a quick look at the lead as Alessandrini finally makes a strike. It's going to be the first time that this 3 car has been out in front. And of Carter Kundinger as they head through the Mulsaw corner. As we take a look back at these drivers duking it out here, Waldbaum trying to work past the 74 of Ryan Plort for 7th place.
This is going to be big if Waldbaum gets by him. This is a lot of time around this track to have to defend.
He's going to have to defend for the next 10 minutes because it's a 4-minute lap here. We got about 2.5 laps left to go. This is going to be a long time for Ryan Plort to kind of try to keep the 90 in behind. And can imagine the pressure mounting for him here. He's just got to not make a mistake. We already see him slip up once, so yeah, he has to keep the pressure under control here, keep Waldbaum in behind. And there you actually see Derek Bobo not too terribly far up the track. There you see him there. That's about 6 seconds up the road. But I think too far for Plort to chase down on his own. He's flying down towards Indianapolis. Well, he's being pretty patient here. Has not had the chance, I think, to get the draft in the slingshot, but he's just sitting behind. Do you think he feels comfortable knowing he's got 2 laps to go to make this pass?
Yeah, I think so. I think. Oh, who's up? That was
Derek Roval around. This is the car they were just chasing before. A mistake into Indianapolis has caught up many drivers in these 2 corners. Indianapolis in the corner following it. Oh, and the car just went around on him.
This affords Florida the opportunity to lose this position to Waldbaum, but still be the champion.
Oh boy, and again, another turn in this battle. This has been awesome a lot. So Florida looking under threat of if he was able to get passed by Waldbaum. Now it's looking like that might not quite matter at the moment.
Problem is, I don't think Florida knows that, and if you don't know that, you can get yourself in a lot of trouble thinking that you need to hold on to the position that you've got to win the championship. So he could end up trying too hard and getting himself in trouble when he doesn't really need to.
Yeah, to see here, and even Roval not too terribly far out of the picture. There you see him back in behind, trying to force his way back up to these guys to reclaim his lost positions after that mistake. And when they come past the line, these guys 2 laps to go in this race. Waldbaum all the way up the back bumper of the 74 machine here for 6th place now as this fight. Well, he's got a little bit of run floor all the way out to the left. Trying to take a line on through, deep on the brakes for both these drivers.
Oh, Florida goes really deep. Going to have a really awkward exit, I think.
Actually kept it going.
Together. Not bad. Good recovery midway through that slide there.
As they work their way down towards entry into the Mulsaw Straight, we'll take a look back up at our leaders. Carter Kundinger and DJ Alessandrini, about a lap and a half left to go for these 2. Got a battle kicking off for the AM Cup Championship and then also for the lead. Also a little bit of bump drafting there I'm seeing between Carter Kundinger and Alessandrini.
May as well. It's not like any penalties are going to matter. Last week, just throw it in there.
Kind of following until with the 3. It's really going to come down to this last lap, I think, is where we're going to really start seeing them fight like they mean it. And all these friendly exchanges for position are going to start to end. See a little bump there.
quick update on an earlier development with Owen Farrell. He posted in our Discord that he was attempting to quickly serve a slowdown penalty when he accidentally blew his engine. So that was a weird way to go about serving a slowdown penalty, but whatever he did ended up costing him his engine and leaving him out of the race. But we just see Waldbaum makes the pass by Plord, putting Plord back in 7th place, back to 1 point to the good over Kyle Lamb, but Rolleveld is not that far behind.
No, in fact, since the start of the lap, Rolleveld actually gained a second, and we're only half a lap through. So that's a little bit concerning, because once Rolleveld gets in that draft range with a lap to go, that's going to be it. He's going to have a chance of getting back at Plord. Plord's might not be a sitting duck because he's got the draft off of Waldblum to work with, but it's definitely going to be hair-raising. It's going to come down to the wire. I mean, as we stand, Plord's sitting by only 1 point over Kyle Lamb. And Lamb, that gap is falling back to Moa Islam, but we shouldn't expect a change in position. Here's Kyle Lamb working through Indianapolis, and there is the gap to Moa Islam. 5 seconds between them. Take a look at our leaders here, because I think now is also when they're going to start bobbing and weaving here, working through the Porsche curves. For them, the battle's about to be on. If it hasn't been already, who knows? They could have been pushing before, but I think now's where it's going to count.
May as well. I think you're now going to get to the point where any opportunity you get to make the pass, you're going to just go for it and hope you can defend from there on out for the rest of the lap.
Working through the 4 chicanes, and as they come to the start-finish line, white flag in the air, 1 more lap to go at Le Mans. It's a fairly long one, 4 minutes back to the start-finish line for these drivers, and 4 minutes to sort themselves out. They got no competition from behind. Buchanan 10 seconds out, and he's not going to be a factor.
Mo Islam only 4 seconds behind Kyle Lamb right now. Kyle Lamb cannot afford a mistake and lose that position if he has any hope.
Yeah, we'll also try to keep you posted as well on the developments between Rolleveld and Plord. Fight for the AM Cup Championship, as well as we look at the battle for the race lead here between DJ Alcindrini and Carter Kundinger up in front. On to the Mulsanne straight for the final time in the Lamborghinis. And this is where Carter Kundinger, he's got a chance to get back at DJ. And we'll see if he's just going to completely go for it, wait for some of the later straights to make a move, but he's gaining a lot of time here. There he goes out to the right-hand side. He's going to take a look down into the first chicane. No, he's going to back out before they get to the braking zone. Now finally back on the power, out of the chicane they will go yet again. Here comes Carter Kundinger, and now he's got the run and should have enough time to make it work. There he peels off side by side, drag race down the Mulsanne straight between both these drivers, and it looks like Carter Kundinger is starting to stall out. No, he actually does get by, and it's going to be DJ that's the one that backs out. Maybe DJ lining up for a final move.
That would be my guess.
DJ
had to overcorrect there. Did it cost him, or is he still there to draft back up to him?
Take a look at that. That car stepped up quite a bit on entry there. Yeah, you can see brought it under control amazingly. Didn't lose a lot of time, but I think had a bit of a heart-stopping moment.
Yeah, I think they're coming down to Mulsanne corner at this point.
Down through Mulsanne corner, and then it's going to be the run down to Indianapolis. It's the last long straightaway for these guys to work with.
Misses it. Misses the corner.
Oh, wow. And you see Carter Kundinger miss the corner. I'm not sure that was on purpose, maybe trying to prevent DJ from getting a run. Not sure these guys are playing 4D chess, or if that's just Carter Kundinger making a mistake. He now pulls him behind DJ, and now he's got the chance at the run.
I don't think you give up the lead like that, or risk giving up the lead like that on purpose at all. So
we'll see. He's going to have a run here. He's going to pull to the left-hand side. We see quite a few drivers make a mistake heading down to Indianapolis. We'll see if it happens yet again for the lead. Deep on the brakes they go. Side by side, still through the corner. Now next corner, right-hand turn, and there's still equal footing. And the over-under for Carter Kundinger, they swap positions. They're still side by side down the straightaway. Neither driver giving an inch, but Carter Kundinger looks like he's got a bit more of a run.
And he's got the inside going into the Porsche curves.
We'll see if he's going to counter. DJ's going to pinch him, try to get a run on the outside lane. Here they go. You can see them swapping on the leaderboards. By inches, a little bit of a door contact as they head into the Porsche curves.
Now is DJ going to back off and try to set up a run going into the Ford chicanes? That's about all he's got to do. All he's got left in his playback.
Oh,
right
he's going to try to look up the inside. That might have cost him time. But as you mentioned here, it's this last run out of the Porsche curves heading towards the Ford chicanes. It's the last shot that DJ Alessandrini has got. Last major braking zone on the track.
Slow down as they come into the Ford chicanes. What does DJ have?
I think the gap's going to be too far. Here they go. Final set of corners approaching the end of the lap. And into the final chicane they go. DJ tries to throw it up the inside. Carter Koenig having to go wide. He's going to have to serve a slowdown. Otherwise, he's going to get a penalty. And what's it going to be at the line? Carter Koenig's going to cross the line first. Was there a penalty, though, for cutting the corner?
I don't know. I don't know.
We'll have to wait for the We'll have to wait for the race to finish to truly find out the results. That's when penalties are given up. But at the moment, provisionally, Carter Kundinger, race winner Buchanan in third. Taking a look back at this battle for the AM Cup Championship, Ryan Plord sitting the incumbent as Kyle Lamb. He's now coming across the line. He will stay in fourth place. No changes there. But as now these drivers approach the Ford chicanes, Waldbaum in sixth, Plord in seventh. Waldbaum's not been able to close that gap. And as they work through the Ford chicanes, if the math is correct, they will go. It'll be Ryan Plord that will take the AM Cup Championship by 1 single point over Kyle Lamb. Whether he knows it or not.
Ryan Plord is your champion. I'm going to take a look at that last corner incident and see what the decision is going to be. Should a penalty actually happen here?
Great battle for the AM Cup Championship, and as well, and DJ, as he comes across the line, will officially seal his overall championship, and a great run from DJ all season long. But an interesting end to the race here at Le Mans after 13 laps. Oh boy. Taking a little bit of a breather there. Some great battling as well between Carter and DJ. We'll have to talk to both of them, as well as both Ryan Plord and Kyle Lamb. I think those drivers deserve to be talked to. We'll take a little bit of a break here while we do some final tallies, so we'll be right back in a few minutes. And welcome back here to Le Mans. You got everything tallied, got the points tallied up. Also got the official situation for what happened at the end sorted out. And as far as the AMP Cup champion, your champion is Ryan Plord. Very close, but Kyle, man, you gave it everything you could. That was a fantastic race that you ran.
Yeah, I was a bit disappointed. I had my team in my ear watching the broadcast, and they're like, "Kyle, do you want the points this race?" And I said, "No, head down. I've got bigger things to worry about," and that was fuel saving, and having Mo catching me down there at the end it really scared the crap out of me. But no, well done to Ryan. That's how I want to end the season. Is really pushing me hard, and he done well there.
Yeah, you definitely gave it your all. You think there's anything more you probably could have done, or you think because you started so back you couldn't really get anything more? Because it looked like you had a car potentially to win the race had you started up in front.
Yeah, I reckon I said during the week I was a bit disappointed with the format, but I had to suck it up and get it done. And Eric actually said to me during the week, just follow DJ, which I did at the start. So I kind of followed him, and then kind of once I had to start fuel saving and worked out the numbers, I kind of watched them drift away. So and having Zach in front of me too is a bit disappointing as well. So well done to Zach on the third, and we'll come out strong for next season.
All right, well, Kyle, it was a great battle for you. Unfortunately, you were just a little bit shy, but congrats on your finish.
Do you know what the points were just before I go?
It was very close. I think you're 1 point out, if I'm not mistaken, right, Eric?
Oh, no.
One point.
It was really close.
1 point. Oh, that's close. All right, thanks, guys. I'll see everyone next season.
All right, moving on next to Ryan Plord. And Ryan, you're our AM Cup champion. A fantastic battle that you had all race. Whether you knew or not, were you aware of the point situation the entire race, or did you just try to finish as high as you could?
I mean, I was really just trying to keep it clean. I knew I was kind of in the running, and I realized Corey wasn't in the session, and I was like, oh, maybe I could actually win this. But it was a lot of just self mistakes and course cuts, and I was just trying to keep it clean and not get into anybody. And man, once I isolated myself from the draft, which I really should have tried to stick with the pro drivers, I had to fuel save a ton just to make it to the end. I crossed with like less than a tenth of a gallon left. So it was really just try to get to the end. I couldn't really focus on passing anybody.
Yeah, and so do you know how close the championship is with you finishing in 7th place and Kyle finishing up in 4th?
I think he said it was 1 point.
Yep, 1 point was the gap between you two. And we were watching the entire race because you kept swapping back between 7th and 8th position a few times, and you had some guys chasing you down from 8th. Then you had some guys up in front. They would drop back, put you back into 7th place. So whether you knew it or not, you were constantly going in and out of the championship fight. But what would you say was probably the hardest thing here at Le Mans? What do you think was the hardest thing to manage the entire race?
Le Mans, it's with a car like a GT3, it just doesn't have enough downforce for the high-speed corners, so you have to be extremely careful with your inputs. Because if you get it sliding a little bit, the traction control thinks you're doomed and just cuts everything, and then you're just, that happens in the Porsche curbs, and you're in the wall. So I was just focusing entirely on keeping smooth inputs and not, letting that happen to me. I ended up with a couple of course cuts, but because I didn't want to back off in a couple spots, because if you lift too sharply, sometimes you lose the back end of the Lambo. So it was really just a survival race, and I knew that from the beginning. Really long race. I kind of let the pro guys through and focused on just trying to stick with any draft I could pick up and finish stuff.
All right, and with that, Ryan, congrats on your AMCUP championship. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think you've won a championship before, have you?
I did take a AM Cup in the Ferrari probably a year or two ago.
Oh, sorry about that. Well, congrats on your second championship.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, and with that, Ryan, we'll finish talking with you, and we'll go now to our second place finisher, Carter Kundinger. And Carter, just a little bit short there at the end. It was really close between you two.
Yeah, no, I mean, that was honestly a really fun battle between DJ. Yeah, I mean, just unfortunate at the end. I had a strange feeling he was going to send it into that last Ford chicane, and yeah, I mean, I basically just tried to make sure that I wasn't going to get spun there, and so I decided that I was going to cut the forward chicane, and then cursed slow down. I tried so hard to get that out of the way there at the end, but I think I got it down to 0.1 by the time I hit the line, and then it ended up giving me a black flag, even though I did cross the line first. So just unfortunate. Still a really good race though, and I mean, I think I had the strategy played pretty well, being able to save to go that extra lap, and then force DJ to have to save as much as he could that second stint. But yeah, I guess it just didn't work out in the end.
You're looking back, obviously probably the last chicane. Looking back, do you think there's anything you could have probably done different, or you think you pretty much did the best you could?
Yeah, I mean, I do really wish I would have been able to save a little bit more that first stint, solely because, I really had to slow it down in that last lap, and I think if I would have been able to save just a little bit more, because I was sputtering coming to my box a little bit, I think I just would have pulled enough of a gap to DJ that he really would have had to push just to get back into my draft, and then let alone he would have to save at the end. So yeah, just unfortunate. Just some little things here or there, and that's just what costs you the race win right there.
All right, well, Carter, it's a great race nonetheless. I guess you shouldn't say congrats considering what happened, but still very solid finish for you nonetheless.
Yeah, thank you, Finian.
All right, and with that, go to our race winner, DJ Alessandrini. And DJ, I think you led probably 1 lap or 2 laps, maybe the entire race, and it was right at the end. Walk us through how you're able to pull it off.
I mean, I was fuel saving in the beginning of the race, and that was going all swell and dandy. And then I fuel saved a little too much, and then I had to chase him back down. And you really had to make one of your stints 7 laps, and the other one could be 6 without any fuel saving. So I was going to try to make the first one, which would be the harder one. I was going to try to make that stint 7 laps. And since I lifted too much, I got greedy. That stint ended up being 6 laps, and I had to make up time on Kundinger and Buchanan. So I pitted, I short fueled a little bit just so I would come out with Buchanan. He kind of messed up his pit stop a little bit. And then luckily Kundinger must have made a mistake on that lap or something, so I was right with him. That gave me the draft I needed to fuel save for all those laps. That's why I was just sitting behind him. And then for the last 2 laps, I saved enough fuel so I could go after him. And I just started attacking him in those last 2 laps just to kind of get a feel for how the track would race, where's the passing opportunities, stuff like that. Because, I bought the track on Monday. The only experience I have on this is when this track came up in Forza is when I called it a night. Like, I have no experience on this track racing anything. So I had to learn in those 2 laps kind of where to do it, and I left that last chicane as like a Hail Mary, like force them into panic mode kind of thing, and that's exactly how that worked out. So that's cool that my hypothetical scenario turned into reality.
Well, congrats, you managed to pull it off nonetheless. Congrats, DJ, and I hope you learned some stuff to bring into the prototype race coming up in just a little bit.
Yep, you're going to just see me just driving around behind people until the last lap.
Well, best of luck to you, DJ, and congrats also not only in the race win, but your overall championship as well.
Yep, thank you, appreciate it.
All right, with that, it's going to wrap up the SCRS LazyRocket Super Trofeo series from not only this track, but for the season. And what a fantastic fight all season long between these drivers.
Yeah, and the fight might still be happening in between races here. There's going to be some calculations and decisions to be made through this little break we have between races and race control. So I've got to go take care of that, and we'll have an update on AM Cup Championship results and everything regarding that when we go back live for Prototype Challenge. So I got to go take care of that. You can send us off to our break before we get to Prototype Challenge.
Yeah, sure thing. I'll definitely let you get you down to crunching the numbers. But yeah, this has been the SCRS LazyRocket Super Trofeo series here from Le Mans. My name is Finicona here with Eric Mickey, and we'll be signing out for tonight. Thank you for watching.